Commission Board meeting. Today's date is January 23rd, and the time is 5:35. For the purposes of establishing a quorum, I have Commissioner Sanchez, Commissioner Martinez, and myself, Commissioner Santos. There is a quorum. The next item on the agenda is the approval of the minutes. Please take note, colleagues. We're approving minutes dating back to April 25th, 2023, and October 31st, 2023, and our most recent special meeting of November 1st. Do I have a motion?
So moved, Mr. Chair.
Second.
All right, thank you.
For all three sets of
okay.
meeting. Yes.
Subject to written correction if needed.
Yes.
Okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, Lou, no public comment? No. Okay, great. Okay, I will now go down to item number 5, GWA. Miguel, please start.
At the work session, Mr. Chair, we didn't go through the GM report.
Correct.
Do you want me to go through it now, or
No,
just
why
want to
don't
get
we
straight to
go
the
ahead and
issues?
just go straight to the resolutions, and then,
Maybe back. when
because
Mike's here.
I see you, colleagues, if you want to join us tomorrow, we have ratings meetings in Moody's and S&P,
For
starting at
GWA.
8 o'clock for the refunding of the loan. Okay, so, okay, go ahead, Miguel.
Okay, first item on the agenda is Resolution 08 FY 2024, and this is seeking approval for the Apalachicola Drainage and Roadway Improvements Construction Contract. As stated in the work session, this project resulted from our construction of one of the pump stations at the Apalachicola Bridge as part of our Baza Garden sewage conveyance project. We had set aside funds in order to do some additional paving in coordination with DPW for the bridge and extend the amount of repaving. Their project fell through, and so we are using the funds that we had set aside for that paving to correct some drainage improvements that didn't get done, which are affecting the roadway in front of our pump station. So we put this, we used DPW's design and trimmed it down just to handle the drainage improvements that are required, and put that out to bid. It came in very high the first time. We put it back out with some modifications, and it was still more than the estimate, but it did come in at slightly over $1 million. So we are seeking that amount, 1.053 million, with a 20% contingency for a total of 1.26. We do have the funding to complete this, original bond funds that were available, and we are seeking the approval of this amount. It does exceed my procurement authority, but this has been an ongoing problem, so we would like to get the drainage improvements in and the roadway fixed.
Okay. Motion, Commissioner Sanchez?
Yes, Mr. Chair. I move to approve GWA Resolution Number 08 FY 2024 relative to the Apalachicola Sewer Pump Station Project upgrade, and the amount is, with contingency, is $1,264,583.89.
Okay.
Second.
Second. Any further questions? None? Okay, I move to hear the vote on Resolution 08 FY 2024. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right. Next, Miguel.
I'll ask legal counsel to go through the next one. This is Resolution 09 FY 2024.
It's listed 08 FY 2023. Is
No.
that the wrong number?
That's just the backup.
Oh, so that's, thank you. Thanks.
This is the one we approved earlier, correct?
Right, and
Okay.
so on the agenda is 09 FY 2024, and that's to further amend the GWA sewer hookup revolving loan fund rules and regs. And what I passed out at the start of the meeting is Resolution 08 FY 2023, and that's just to provide a reference so the commissioners can see the rules that were initially approved last January. Is that?
And these are the
Makes
new
sense,
ones.
okay.
And these are the new ones.
This is just the amendment.
The amendments
This
to
is the
the
amendment.
existing rules. Got it.
Okay. Go ahead, Commissioner Sanchez, we can at least get the motion on the floor.
Did I?
No, nothing
okay.
yet, yeah.
So, okay, so it's 09 FY 2024.
So
Okay.
09 FY 2024 is to further amend the
The existing
hookup
rules.
revolving fund
Okay.
rules and regs. And the,
Let me go ahead and just get it on
Yeah.
the table so you can, okay, Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion to approve resolution 09 FY 2024 relative to amending the existing GWA sewer hookup revolving fund rules and regulations.
Second. Okay, so moved. Okay.
Good.
Lady Council.
thank you, Mr. Chair. So the essence of the resolution is to amend the maximum loan amount. Back in January of 2023 through resolution 08 FY 2023, the CCU had increased the loan amount or the maximum loan amount from $9,000 to $25,000. And that was, the basis for the increase was through a recommendation made by our 2021 cesspool and septic tank elimination study. And since that time, and from January 2023, we've taken steps to have these rules adopted into the Guam Administrative Rules and Regulations. And as we were walking through the process, we received some public comment on the loan amount, the maximum loan amount. And the comments included concern that the maximum loan amount of $25K may not account for inflation and the increased costs since the onset of the COVID-19 pandemic, and really the observed increased construction and labor costs that we see today. So we took the concerns from the testimony that we received back to the team that created the recommendations, and they've agreed, and they believe that the maximum loan amount should be increased from $25K to $50K. So, and that is because we have seen increased construction costs with, the cost to install these sewer hookups and really just our general construction costs altogether with engineering projects. So the only amendment that Resolution 09 FY 2024 is really making is really to amend the maximum loan amount award. All the other terms and conditions that were approved back in January 2023 through Resolution 08 FY 2023 remain in place, and they're unchanged. So, for the reasons that I've stated, we are asking the commission to approve the maximum loan amount and increase it from $25K to $50K, and it's to further assist property owners, to give them the opportunity to try and achieve, sewer hookups, and at a cost, that is, I guess, on par with the fair market value. And we do state in the resolution that there still will be a requirement, there is a requirement within the rules for applicants to provide proposals, cost proposals. So we're not saying that the loan awards, will of course be $50K, but we hope that $50K will be sufficient, to support the construction proposals that we foresee will be coming. Any questions?
Anybody?
I mean,
On the,
to be realistic, that's only 4 years.
yeah, potential.
But at least we have some money.
Assuming it's 50.
I mean, thanks to Senator Perez, right, that got us 2.2 million?
2 million.
Yeah,
2 million.
2 million rather. Any opportunities to see if they could continue to help us fund it? Have we thought about
Yeah, we had that
approaching them?
discussion yet, is there?
Not about additional funding for the,
This one,
for this
yeah, project.
loan fund. I'm not to say that she would rule it out, but just the priority was not having first
Right.
gotten the 2 million, revising the rules so that we get people participating. If there's greater demand, I'm sure she would be supportive, but we'd have to go back and ask her.
This recent discussion down at the legislature on the parental subdivisions and
Right.
does that nitrate system considered a sewer hookup?
No.
No.
Okay, just I just want that to be clear, right?
Yeah.
That don't confuse that with this particular program.
Right. This
Correct?
is if you can't, if the cost for you to hook up to the nearest sewer line is so prohibitive, at least
Right.
this other discussion, this potential
Okay.
bill of assistance
And
might.
this is only, these loans would only cover the lateral connection. This is not intended to cover main extensions, right?
Yeah.
So if
Literally
you are
the
within the required distance and you're supposed to hook up already under Guam EPA's rules and
Yes.
regulations, this loan program provides you assistance in order to get that done, but it does not extend sewer mains out so that you can connect to it. It only covers from your home to the
To
sewer
the
main.
nearest. And what's the term of the loan? 5 years, 3 years, 7 years?
10-year. It's a
Okay,
10-year
good.
term.
That's good.
Except if you do qualify for a public assistance program, we can approve the loan for a 15-year term.
But few people in public assistance own a home, so.
Yeah.
This is, but there's, I can think of some families right
Yeah,
now
okay.
that are close enough, so the 50,000, that's nice, it's a bigger bump in the budget. Maybe as a courtesy to Senator Perez, should we adopt this, send her a note, say, hey, we've updated the rules, updated the amounts, any help you can provide would, from the legislature would be great.
Yeah.
And just to clarify, no other amendments were made, so I recall during the working session, there was discussion of having to qualify or be refused by traditional lending institutions before you can qualify. Is that still in play?
Those are still the loan terms as of today. Right.
Anything else? Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and call for the vote then. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Anything else, Miguel?
That's it for issues for decision.
Okay.
I apologize, so I can, if I go to the work session, right, your management report is in there, I can just review that?
Yes.
Nothing earth-shattering?
Okay.
Thank you.
There's one more item, GWA self-insurance fund. Do you want to talk about that now, or?
The CFO will briefly discuss that.
Okay. Proceed, telling.
Good evening. I just wanted to briefly mention that it's our intention to look at putting together a self-insurance fund. We anticipate that our insurance premiums will be going up, and one way to keep the premiums down is to increase the deductible. So we're trying to put a mechanism together so that we could start a self-insurance fund to help us set up the funding for the deductible, as well as to mitigate any risk for items that we currently aren't able to insure, like cyber crimes.
Good.
And so when we were at the PUC meeting last to talk about the 5-year plan schedule, the PUC seemed amenable to us making a proposal for this. So our hope is that we would come to the CCU with the resolution and then eventually go to the PUC and likely set it up similar to
What GPA has.
how GPA has set it up, yes.
And your timeline?
So we've got a couple of things before the PUC right now where we've got the rate design that's, we have the refi that's this month, and then the rate design next month. We'll also be providing the draft 5-year plan, and so my hope is to do it within, shortly after that. So probably,
But you're not trying to build it into the 5-year rate plan?
Not
Not right now?
right now.
Okay.
Yeah, at least they can do 1 year at a time, and then, and then just a quick question for calling in our analysis, which is always good. Any idea why our water and wastewater flows are lower this year versus last year? Annualized, is that a Marwar effect, or just curious why, unless more people have left Guam and there are more vacancies, I'm just curious why,
our wastewater and
water and wastewater flows are 3% less in November compared to last November. And just curious if there was a reason. And year-to-date is 2%, right?
Right.
On that.
So a lot of our demand and flows are directly related to residential because they're such a large part. And if you look at the average daily consumption, that's been going down for the last several years.
So people are fixing leaks maybe?
We have a new program where we send leak reminders, and I think we've all gotten calls from friends that have gotten a call. And also, I also believe it's more efficient fixtures, so that, you know,
So people are really focusing on trying to reduce their
Right.
demand. There's a
Right.
conscious effort, yeah, save them money. Okay. We'll just keep watching it. Yeah.
Okay. Anything else? All right, thank you.
See you tomorrow morning.
Yeah, tomorrow morning.
Okay, so what's going on tomorrow morning?
They're talking to the rating agencies
About
on the refunding of the
the
GWA
actual
bond.
presentation to the rating?
Yeah.
It's just an update. You get one in October.
Okay. You will. Get and send out the update.
You wanna, I'll tell you what, send the links to all of them, if you wanna at least watch it. Okay? 8 and 9. First Moody's and then,
Okay, yeah, okay, send the link,
Yeah.
maybe just to watch it.
yeah.
Keep my days straight. I leave Thursday for Saipan, come back Friday, and then I leave Monday for this cybersecurity conference.
Larissa, can you just pause this, please? We're in recess. Yeah, I was shocked to hear about Kalili.
I wasn't.
No, wait, I haven't seen him in a long
I
time.
saw him just last month.
See, that's why. I haven't seen him out there.
And he's done a great job. And he's going out on
We'll now go to the GPA session. Mr. Beneventi, you have your first resolution, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. First of all, we have 8 resolutions today.
Okay.
Starting with resolution FY 2024. That's again, this is for the procurement of the 45 food plants that the complete homes. We have about 64 currently, and we are starting to do 100 less. We're buying 105 additions cost. 5 for new.
A motion to approve FY 2024-10.
Second. Mr. Martinez, okay. Any other questions, colleagues? Okay, on the resolution, FY twenty-four, number 10, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, next one, Mr. Benavides.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The next item, the FY 2024-11, related to approval for relocation of Gpwa diesels. If I may, I'd like to address that after the temporary power
Sure.
resolution, Mr. Chair.
Okay, so you're skipping that to talk,
That's right.
okay, about number 4.9, correct?
That's
That's
correct.
the okay, that's fine.
After the number 16.
Okay.
I am also going to table 4-10, that's resolution 2024-17, related to the approval of the ECA agreement. I believe that will be ready for that by next month's meeting. Okay. So the next item is related to approval of a 2-year extension of RFO number 6 supply contract for Hyundai. Again, Hyundai's contract expires, set to expire about September 1st of 2024 this year, and we're looking for an extension of 2 years. Hyundai is the supplier of the low sulfur RFO and is the main supplier and only supplier for Cabers 1 and 2. So again, because of the delay of the Ukudu commissioning, the retirement of Cabers 1 and 2 may not be until early March of 2026, no? 6 months after the commissioning of the Ukudu. So we just need to go ahead and extend so they all can continue to plan to provide us oil, Mr. Chair. There is, for the 2-year extension, there is $1 million savings on the premium fee that they get.
Good, Commissioner Sanchez.
Mr. Chair, I move to approve GPA resolution number FY 2024-12 relative to extending the residual fuel oil number 6 contract with Hyundai Corporation.
Second.
All right. Okay. Anything else? Any more discussion?
No.
Okay, I'll call for the vote. All in favor, say aye.
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 Okay, done.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Resolution FY 2024-13, and this is to authorize management for the extension of the ultra-low sulfur diesel storage agreement with TriStar Terminal, Guam. Today, we've been leasing 2 tanks up at the TriStar Terminal, and those tanks are the ones that are supplying ultra-low sulfur diesel to PD 8 and 9. And again, that's since the conversion to ultra-low sulfur diesel. Our tanks won't be ready until around 24, 25 in time, by the end of 2024, in time to start filling up for the Ukudu. But in the meantime, we still need to lease those tanks. And of course, we can terminate earlier if we complete it, but we have no alternative at this time but to go ahead and continue that lease with TriStar. So that's your request. Our request is to extend up to June of 2026, and of course we can terminate earlier if there's nothing else occurs. No?
Commissioner Sanchez.
Mr. Chair, I move to approve GPA resolution 2024-13, authorizing the management of GPA to extend the ultra-low sulfur diesel storage lease agreement with TriStar. Second.
All right. Any other discussion, colleagues? Being none, I call for the vote on resolution FY 2024-13. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Next, Mr. Benavides.
FY 2024-14, we do have we do supply all the different combustion turbines and all that by truck, and so this is really the fuel contract that goes out, and again is by sections or by different units, and the main suppliers have always been, of course, Mobile, IP&E, and all of that. So this contract expires the end of this year, and again we're looking to extend it until December 31st, 2027. We need your approval and the PUC's approval, and so go ahead through the process. We will be able to start saving some money on this once we get the Ukudu plan completed, because there is going to be a loading facility from there, so we can revisit what we may do at that point to in terms of delivery, although the machines at that time will be really on reserve and would not be operating as much as they have been over the past several years. But again, this is for the Ccu City, Ccu Diesel, Dedidu, City, and Machechi. There is the cabers 1 and 2 for startup as necessary, PD7, and then of course the Menenguin and Talafofo locations. So we request your approval, Mr. Chair, for the extension.
Yeah, I'll move to approve, and then just have a quick question. Move to approve GPA resolution number FY 2024-14, authorizing GPA management to procure the supply of ultra-low sulfur diesel for our various combustion turbine generators located around the island. Second.
All right, Commissioner. Go ahead, Ms. Sanchez.
So our current supplier is whom?
Current suppliers now are Mobile and IP&E. Some Mobile supplies certain plants, IP&E supply, and this is all by tanker.
Okay,
In fact, at times we ask one to help the other when we have
And
difficulties.
the contract is now expiring, and you're now asking us to approve a
It will
procurement?
expire by the end of this year, so we won't go
This is
through
new
the
procurement.
process in the
All
procurement.
right, thank you.
And JB, the anticipated use of this contract is probably going to increase with the temporary power requirements that you're
That's
bringing in, right?
that's correct.
And so for the next 2 years until Ukudu's commission, this is an important.
Very important contract. And again, it's really delivery upon our request. So when we're not running that much, we don't spend that money, you know? But at least we have them available. But
Now, are they-
it's been difficult to, what you call it, for them to keep up. So that's why at times they will help each other delivering to us.
Now, are they delivering to a central storage tank at, in Jigo, or is it each individual unit?
It's each individual plant. So they deliver to Dedido. And
No,
like,
but not each individual 1 megawatt unit, right? There's a
No.
central storage tank.
yeah, central storage.
Okay.
Yeah, correct. So up there in Jigo is actually delivering, there's a tank for Ccu City, and then there's a whole bunch of bladders that they deliver for the temporary power, 1 megawatt.
And our team transfers the temporary ladder, right? Or is it the vendor?
You know, they fill that temporary and then it automatically fills the other.
And you're going to do that same thing when you relocate the 20 megawatt unit, 21 megawatt units down to.
No, the good news there is that we have a big tank at the Tenjo. So that's why you don't see Tenjo here, right? It's all through a pipeline. So we feed Tenjo from big tanks
the
up there.
storage tank?
So
Right,
when those
storage
units,
tank?
yeah, so that's why it's a preferred site. It's just that it takes longer to prepare it, and that's why we're looking at 6 to 9 months to make it happen.
Do they deliver, John, by the tanker?
By the tanker, and they have to deliver several tankers a day. So yeah, it's this period of time while we're waiting for Ukudu, it's been very stressful and very, so I have to give my hats out to Mobile and IP&E. They, if they can deliver, there's no power, right? Not like the TriStar that you just approved. That's way up in TriStar, so that's the ship comes in, fills that up, and then it just flows down to PD. But the others have to be tanker. And then the other problem is up in Tenjo Vista, the bridge there. They have difficulties moving, so it's not like we can just go and take fuel there. And so one day that bridge has to be addressed. No?
And Ukudu will change the parameter.
Ukudu will change because Ukudu then will be the main supplier and everybody is the reserve. And once every 4 years is when you go through the exercise of running everybody while you overhaul the steam power plant.
But you can maintain the smaller units over that 4-year period, have them ready.
Yeah. So that will be our reserves. No?
You're not going
The huge savings will come from the fuel cost reduction.
But you're not going to service the southern plants from the Jigo gantry, right? You're just going to
No.
do it down at.
Yeah.
Cabras? Or does Cabras have gantry to load or no?
We don't have any gantry in Cabras, but we can. I have to look at that a little bit more. Whether we have to pump up there, or I think how do we get fuel? I think it might be could be reversed up to Tenjo, but I need to do a little bit more research on that.
You and Jen will figure it out.
Yep. Jen's already figuring it
I'll
out.
tell you the answer.
The majority of them is going to be, the majority of the volume will be Gpwa Ccu, right?
Yeah, Gpwa City, they're huge consumers because they're not the most efficient, right? And then Machechi also, and all of that. But the rest, Cabras 1 or 2, of course, going to go away. 8 and 9 will continue to be fed from the Ukudu. Now, do we put a gantry down there just for Tenjo? Maybe not. Maybe we just get tankers and continue to do what we're doing here as we do today. That's that, Mr. Chair.
Any other discussion? Okay, then I'll call for the vote on FY 2024-14. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Next.
The next item, Resolution 2024-15, and this is about professional printing one-to-one. This has been in protest and litigation and OPA and litigation for some time now. However, this is how we print our bills and on a monthly basis. So again, we're asking for your a month-to-month extension up to 12 months. On hopefully a new contract can be awarded by then, but again, it's still uncertain. Okay, so let me see. We're asking this for up to John, up to 12 months, right? Yes. Yep, up to 12 months.
And then 4 additional one-year periods.
We did talk with John and seeing whether we should go try and look at going back to printing our own bills. No? So that's something he is looking at this point. Because again, this is one of those where there's a protest, and all we're doing is potentially we've got to save money from here because it was a lower bid, and same
So
vendor.
who won the graphic center protesting? Who? There was a different vendor was selected. Okay.
Yeah.
And who was that vendor?
Info. What's it?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, I remember that. Yeah, okay.
Then
But that's with the court at this point.
yep, that's in the court. So.
Okay, Commissioners, I need a motion.
Sorry. Move to approve resolution FY 2024-15, authorizing GPA management to enter into a month-to-month extension for printing our bills and other services due to ongoing litigation. Second.
Second, Commissioner, thank you. Okay, call for the vote on the resolution. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Next resolution, FY 2024-16, relative to approval of temporary power. Of course, the CCU had approved an earlier resolution for us to go out for 40 megawatts of temporary power. The PUC have subsequently approved that also. As we all know, as a result of Typhoon Mawar, we lost Gpwa City, and the Okudo power plant sustained damages that again pushed the commissioning date to January 2026. Although I have noted to the commission that we believe that we have an agreement to try and get that to September 30, 2025. Gpwa diesels, of course, have been on the subject of protests and have been trying to get it repaired through a PMC program for over 2 years. More recently, again, we were ready to award it in May of 2023. We had to wait after Typhoon Mawar. A protest occurred, and here we go again. We're back to the OPA, and then from there, I could go to the Superior Court. So I did proceed to cancel it because it don't matter, because it really passed the pricing deadline, and then we asked everyone to put a price in, and then someone could protest again because
So
you
you're
know.
just, this is
So I
issuing just a
thought
new RFP.
it's best to just take it. So we did cancel that. So again, looking about where we are in temporary power, I did ask the commission to approve in 40 megawatts temporary power, and I believe at that time I was talking about 12 to 13 million per year as a budget I showed the commission. Much to my surprise, that's not the price of temporary power today, no? So therefore, but the one thing that is still there is the fact that our budget is still 12 to 13 million, because going out for temporary power is like a leasing program, it's like a rental program, no? So therefore, what happens is we pay that out of O&M. So if we pay it out of O&M, it affects our debt service ratio. So if we have anything over 13 million or so, then we have a run a risk of not meeting our 1.3 debt service coverage. So therefore, we've been in the process of negotiations. How can we get the most bang for what we can, knowing, understanding that it was very difficult negotiation, understanding that we need the capacity. We're limited in cost because, like I noted to the commission, I didn't want to come back and ask for a rate increase. That we were going to do this temporary power within the rates that we have. So here's where we have to proposal today. We're looking at a temporary power location to be at the existing Gpwa site. The value of that is because the infrastructures are all there, and it's really almost a plug and play scenario to pull out the existing generators and put in the 20 megawatts, so the temporary power. So my budget can only afford a 20 megawatt temporary power facility. So therefore, we did negotiate that, and I will show you the numbers very shortly. But the 40 megawatts, but we've also negotiated and added a $3 million budget to be based on task order, where they can assist us in trying to get some of those generators up there at Gpwa operating, so that hopefully here's 20. I'm at 6 here. Hopefully I can get this up to 20 by cannibalizing or doing other things from the other generators, no? Or bring the technical expertise and everything to assist us with the assessment and helping us get. So hopefully with the same amount of money, plus the 3 million, I can get close to 40 megawatts up there temporarily while we move forward with our stuff. So what does it look like, in terms of
Can I
dollars
just-
and cents? Yeah.
Just pause, John.
Yeah.
We don't have resolution 16 on our
Oh, I'm sorry.
board books.
Yeah, we do.
Okay, so you just,
I'm
All right,
sorry,
proceed
Mr.
then.
Chair. It
Okay,
was
go ahead and do that.
hot off the press.
so can I just say something, guys?
Yeah.
In the future, okay, put everything in board books. I was asking for this several days ago, okay?
Yeah.
I'm asking on behalf of the public, all right? It's not me, okay? They deserve to see this just as much as the 4 members here that are asking. And this is as last minute can be.
Yeah.
Okay? I will tell you, it's not gonna happen again. Otherwise, I'll just ask our colleagues to delay the meeting until you're ready to come before the CCU. Okay? This was not ready till I arrived here. And I think I updated 3 times. I will ask you, Mr. Inventi, to get your group to get this stuff to us on time. I
Well,
waited. I even went to you, sir.
With all due respect, Mr. Chair, really, we didn't finish the negotiations until.
Then you could have delayed it, Mr.
Okay,
Benedetti.
well, we can
Okay,
delay
that's
it,
the way-
we
then
can
let's-
delay it
then
now,
let's
that's,
delay it.
but trying to get this, because going so I can get a contract going and trying to get it to the PUC.
but-
So my apologies, we will try to do better next time, but I'm just like, trying to explain the whole process as to why, and we've been working on this, of course, because of the critical nature and stuff, but yeah, I understand. We will try and get it, and if not, then we'll ask for a delay. Okay, understanding your position, Mr. Chair. All right. No pun intended. I understand.
Nothing funny about it.
Huh?
There's nothing funny about it. Mr. Chair, I move to approve GPA Resolution 2024-16, and then I have a couple of questions. Sure, call it.
Second.
Second.
All right, proceed, Mr. Sanchez.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So, John, I just want to make sure I'm keeping up with you.
Mm-hmm.
As the chair said, you're throwing a lot at us. So, for $25 million, that's a capacity charge, right? Fixed O&M, that's how we get 20 megs of temporary power from Agreco, right?
Correct.
They were the best bidder. Okay, and we pay 25 million over 1 year, 2 years?
2 year period.
2 years, because that's not in the resolution, but, okay, but it's 25 million over 2 years. Okay, because obviously the related question is, does it affect base rate, right? Because this is getting paid out of base rate, right?
Right.
So it's 25 million over 2 years. Maybe we should, actually now with the back and forth, maybe I'll suggest an amendment just to make it clear. And then, that's the capacity charge, that's for the generators, right? For the 20 megs. And then to run them is $8 million a year for FY 2024 and 8.1 for 2024 and 10.1 for 2025 to operate these generators.
Yeah, actually, if I go through this one and the next sheet, we did two things. One, what the 2 year contract is, and then two, we placed it by fiscal year, so that you see where
Yes,
how.
but because this is the approving resolution, I want to make sure that the resolved part is
Okay.
as accurate as possible, right? So that's why I'm just going through the current language in the resolve to make sure, one, I understand it, and number two, is it an accurate description of what you're asking us to approve? So, you put out a bid for temporary power of 20 megawatts. And, you know, because you're also trying to keep it within a budget where no base rate, if we approve this, there's no change for base rate, right?
That's
And that's when you were alluding to, like, I'm trying to keep it within the existing base rate, but what the base rate budget would allow.
That's
So
correct.
that's 25 million for over 2 years? Or 25 million per year?
2 years.
Okay, so I'm gonna recommend that we put that in there. So it's 12.5 million a year. 2 years makes it 25 million, right? And then the annual O&M for that is 8.1 in FY 2024 and 10.1 in FY 2025. That's the second statement in our resolve, which is where the rubber meets. I want to make sure these two sentences, this is where you're allowed to act, right? So I want to make sure we on behalf of the public understand it and then can explain it, because I'm sure they're going to want to know how you're going to reduce the risk of load shedding, right? This is part of that process, right? To bring capacity. So I want to make sure I've understood what you verbalized.
Okay, just one moment, Mr. I'm trying to find my resolution here.
It's on, oh, you're not board.
Okay.
It's on page 2, JB, at the bottom.
There we go.
Go to the results on page 2.
20 million Zig site for an estimated 25 million for capacity charge, fixed O&M. Energy conversions are assessment and repair of difficulty. Approve the increase of the IPPA budget by 8.1 FY 20 for FY 2025. Okay, I think if the presentation said this is over 3 fiscal years, correct? But there's a
Okay, so that's important to add
Yep.
to the, you know,
So
I mean,
that-
on first reading, is it 25 million in the next
Yep.
12 months?
Yep.
2 fiscal years, 3 fiscal years? That's
Yeah,
that
Vic,
makes a difference.
indulgences commission. It was
in the
so really it's
resolution.
Yeah, that's where
yeah.
the resolves that matter. And this is also the simplest way to explain to the public what you're asking us to approve, if we approve it. Right?
It does 7. What did we get? 8.1.
You didn't refresh? Yeah, you gotta go back up.
Jan, we get 8.1, 7.9.
You want to recess a little bit? So
You wanna-
everybody can get up
why
to
don't we
speed?
5-minute recess, Mr.
Yeah.
Whittington, that way.
Everybody get on the same page.
Yeah,
Take a
thank
break and then we-
This is an
you,
important
Mr.
decision.
Chairman.
Take your time. Let's get ready. No.
Oh,
No, the other question I have is the number of units that are down. Because there's a total of
Okay.
40. You gotta
is explain through first the map, showing you what the Gpwa site looks like. This right here, already doesn't become well, but these are about 12 units here, several more here. There's more, some here and over here. So they're really spread out over the Gpwa site.
Where's the gym, John?
The gym is over on this side, I believe.
Okay, got
Yeah,
it, got it.
next to the gym. So as you can see, we have 40 existing, which makes it, in terms of trying to get this thing done within 100 days, getting Agreco similar units. So actually, out of the bid that we went through, Agreco is the only one that could achieve 100 days. So we looked at that further, and we want to try and make sure cut down as much time as possible. And we're saying, really, we're not getting much capacity out of Gpwa, but if there's no site preparations required, a lot of stuff. So therefore, how about we try and put the 40 here? But unfortunately, as I had noted earlier in the thing, we couldn't afford 40 megawatts due to prices escalation and everything. And believe me, that's why we were late, because we kept trying to negotiate this thing down all through this period of time. So the latest, the agreement now is that Agreco will take control of this site over to the left side, about almost 50% of the, and that's where they will put their 24, 25 units that would provide us 20 megawatts of temporary power. In this site here, there are some generators that are working, some of our 6 to 8 megawatt generators, that are producing 6 to 8 megawatts today. So we're going to take those and put it over here. We're going to remove all the non-working one and half working ones here, and this will be the Gpwa site. In addition to that, we'll look at which of the remaining generators that we pulled out could be repaired and give us some additional capacity. So our goal now under this contract is, one, Agreco give us 40 megawatts strong, 20 megawatts strong of capacity. They will operate and maintain it, and then they will also assist us in making repairs or of our side of the equation to increase it from the current, I say 6 to 8 because it could be in a few hours, it could be 8, but which is what we had operating, no? Try and increase this now from 8 to 20. Remember, because only now 20 can fit, right? We can't put any more than 20 here. And then put all the rest of the units. We're working with the CLTC. We've had a meeting already to lease part of the property for 3 years, so that we can store the other units that we own here, about 20 of them, and see how we're going to repair or replace or do what's necessary to achieve another 20 megawatts at Tenzo Vista, which is the second resolution that is there. So our goal is to try over the next, Tenzo Vista is going to take about probably 6 months or a little more to get 20 operational. But the whole strategy of this approval is to achieve 20 new Greco strong from new units, then trying to repair 14 megawatts more from the existing 20 remaining that we can fit in this area, right? And then try and take the remaining units, repair, replace, and bring that 20 down to Tenzo Vista. So at the end, part of our long-term strategy was to relocate about 20 of these units down to Umadak or Tenzo or somewhere in the area so that it can serve the south. So we thought that the best way to do this now is to get some benefit in our strategy towards the long term
by doing this contracting with Agreco. So, go ahead, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Michael.
Yeah, so, JB, can you just explain the $25 million in the resolution right now? Says 25 million for the capacity charge, fixed O&M charge, energy conversion charge, assessment and repair of GGO diesel units. How much of that 25 million is appropriated to the assessment and repair of the additional 20 megs that you're referring to?
3 million.
3 million?
Yeah. So that's our budget. 3 million with
To repair,
to repair as much as we can to try and get up to
to make 6 to 8, go to 20.
make the 6 or
8
8
to go
rate
to
to 20.
Okay.
So,
so that's
I'm sorry,
the-
how much was that?
3 million.
3 million. And
That's
then,
on line 18 of the whereas?
That's on line
page
25.
241, yeah.
Line 25 of page 2.
yeah, he aggregated it, but I'm with you, I'm trying to
Yeah, so
break it out into
let's
pieces.
go back up. John, just to be clear, right?
Yeah,
1 million for initial mobilization costs,
correct.
then an additional 3 million to repair 20, possibly up to 20 of our 1 meg generators, right?
Correct.
Okay. And then in resolve item number 2, the 8.1 million for 2024 that jumps to 10.1 million, is this due to the bringing the additional 20 online? Is that $2 million is to operate the additional 20 megs that are coming online?
I think the way they set this up was the 8.1 million for the first fiscal year.
Which is
That-
now, right?
That's the 7 million for the Agreco, the O&M and stuff, plus 1 million for
Mobilization?
for the mobilization.
That's the 8.
Oh,
So
okay.
that's what we're
Okay, so-
budgeting. That's 8.1.
I see.
We missed that on the
And then the 10 million is for O&M the second year.
second year. No?
O&M for the
And
second
then
year.
the third
Okay.
year is actually around 6.1, but we didn't, because we're only asking for approval for 24, 25, because that's all that we have approved to date. In the following fiscal year, of course, when we come back for a budget, then we will
You'll
include
put
that.
that. But none of these expenditures will require any change in the base rate.
None of this will require.
So we're gonna live within that base rate, which hasn't changed since 2013.
And that's why we were very, it took us a long time to try and
Because you were trying to keep it without.
because otherwise, I could, I would have come, and the base
Yeah,
rate
and
would
that's a
take
whole rate
forever.
increase.
It's not
Yeah.
gonna work, right?
It's not worth it, yeah.
Because it's a rental, eh? Now, the reason why the 20 megawatts relocation or getting new or repair could work is because that would be a CIP program. The relocation to Tenjo Vista. We will use CIP money instead of
What do you already
O&M
have?
money, so therefore it doesn't impact the debt service coverage. Eh?
But this 2 million in mobilization are for the new 20 megawatts.
Yeah, 1 million mobilization.
Yeah, right.
Is that 2 million there?
Well, it says
It's-
1 million.
It
and-
says 2 on line 20. Line 20 of the
Line 20 of the
resolution.
So that needs correction, then it's 1 million.
It says 1 million on line 11, but then it's kind of like sums it all up on line 20. It sounds like there's it shows 2 million.
That was one part of our last negotiation.
Okay.
Bringing that down from 2 million to 1 million. That's what took us so long.
Marianne,
yeah.
we need to make sure this is clean.
So
okay?
does it include the demobilization of the units you're moving from?
Everything is included in that now.
So to move those inoperable
In
units.
fact,
to-
they were asking and we said no, so.
So, I just want to make clear, John Kim. Yes. Go back to the second resolve, right? Yes. Your OMM budget, IPP, 8.1 for
There's
FY '24, and then an additional 2 million in FY '25. Correct? So you're gonna make the changes there, okay?
What- So is it, that doesn't require changes?
No, it doesn't require changes. Only one, the 8.1 includes the Agreco, the $1 million
Mobilization.
and $3 million for the repair and
So is part of the difference because
Oh, so
FY
it's there
'24 has
already.
already started, and then
Yes,
FY '25 is a full year?
Yes.
That's part of the difference,
So what,
And you bring on the new units. You bring on
Right.
the additional 20
which you're
megs.
operating.
so here's the other question, right? So Originally, we went to Greco for the 41 megs, we were leasing it. And then we did the math and said, guys, we should own this. Well, our original 40 megawatts, we were leasing.
From way back.
Right, and then,
Yeah.
then we did the math and said, we should just own these.
Yes.
Right.
At the time, what? I mean, 2 years down the road, are you gonna come to us and say, you might as well own this 20 megawatt
No.
generator?
No.
No, I'm just asking, tell me.
Good question.
No,
Good question.
and I agree with
Who could
you,
eliminate?
sir.
Who could eliminate?
I'm
That's why we're
saying-
leasing. That's why we're
I'm
leasing.
saying
it.
no.
We said lease
yeah.
before, I mean,
Yeah.
again, is this lease out or lease to own?
No,
No.
just a
This
lease.
is outright lease.
It's just a rental.
They get it back. They take it back.
That's a rental.
It's a rental.
So, can we go back to the map? I'm just curious, right? All
Next
this property
page
right now
before.
is Tomorrow Land Trust, right?
No,
That
next
it's sitting
page.
on, is that ours? We own the property where
Yes,
our 40
that's correct.
megawatt generators sit.
We own it. It's just that we were trying to find a location to store these machines and do whatever we need to do. And it just so happened that our team discovered the Tomorrow Land Trust on the property. The adjacent property, and so they have been to their meetings, and actually they have authorized the
Lease.
director to complete a negotiation with us.
But that's to assemble all of this and repair it. We're not actually going to put capacity on it.
No, no, no. You're correct. It's to store it,
You store and
do what is
repair.
necessary, and just for a 3-year period.
Then that's,
Yeah.
right, and then that repaired capacity is being allocated, like the chair's saying, you showed us the map. Some's going here, some's going here,
Yep.
right? Gpwa CT gets returned to service in the next 60 days, 90 days, right? Right? So, because I think the public wants to know how much, the public knows we're short of capacity.
Correct.
This is your plan to address the shortage as a bridge to Ukudu, right? And so we want to make sure it's very clear to the public that 20 megs is coming from the new Agreco unit, right?
Correct.
We're hoping to get 12 to 14 additional megs up in Gigo when Agreco fixes the current 6 to 8 and get it up to 20, right? So that's another 12 to 14, so that's now 32 to 34. And then Gigo CT is 20, there's 54, right? So how much, that's where
And so
how much new capacity from today, right, is with this plan would be added to the system in the next 4 to 6 months, which to bridge us from a capacity point of view to bridge us to Ukudu, because once Ukudu is done, then, you know, as the chairman asked a good question, do we keep Agreco in a few years? You're saying no need, because you got Ukudu, right? So I just want to make sure we're understanding it in location is good, but ultimately people want to know how much more capacity do you see bringing online? You had said in earlier meetings you were working on a plan to increase capacity. You're now revealing the results of a procurement, a bid. Agreco won the bid, and here's what you're requesting our approval and the PUC's approval of this winning bid, and how much new capacity will emerge from new capacity they're bringing and the repairing of existing capacity to get it up to more output, right?
Yeah.
And then you add Gpwa CT, and when you add all that up, that gets to 60 megs, 70 megs, 80 megs. Like, if
So
you
right
can
now-
make sure we understand that.
Yeah, and there's also from my GM report, there's a summary of all the different things that we've been working on to get our capacity to close to about 100 megawatts, no?
By
So-
June? This is part of the plan to get to 100 new megawatts?
By September, of this year. But of course, as much as possible by the May-June period.
So I wasn't
Okay.
here for the work session. If I go back to the
Yeah.
work session, I can see that plan?
No, actually, I will show you again after I would not again, but again, this is all part of, since the beginning, we've been trying to say, right? So I'll give an update as to where we are and how this whole field fits in. But in answer to your question, you're correct. 20 megawatts for Greco, right? We're gonna do the resolution approved by yourself and CCU for relocation adventure of renewed or replaced unit 2 Tenzo Vista. That's 20.
Okay,
That's
40.
40.
Okay.
Plus, in this Agreco contract, a provision to allow us to try and repair as much to get at least another 14 megawatts
14.
back to the stream,
Okay.
right? So that's 54.
52 to 54, right?
Plus, you, again, Gpwa CT, we're looking at towards the end of February, adding that 20 megawatts, no? I think,
That's 74.
yeah,
Okay.
we're trying to air freight that in to get that done, right? So that's 74.
When will Gigo CT, when will it get here, and when do you think Gigo CT will be on?
You get done in repair around the first week of February,
Okay.
but then it takes about 45 days to ship, no? And so
Oh.
we've been in the
So
working
when
with,
will it be online? Gigo
we're
20
trying to
CT,
get it on at the end of February if,
if you can get the part here.
yeah, we're working with the Air Force to see about flying it in.
Okay, so 20
If I fly it in, then I can get it on the line by
February.
the end of February or say sometime in March
March,
at the
okay.
latest, right?
Okay.
So way before February, right? So that's 74.
20, 40,
Plus, we have other work that we're working for Tenjo Vista. The
20,
units that are existing there, no?
So
Yeah.
correct me if I'm wrong, Gigo CT repair by March is 20. Agreco, this new award, based on a procurement, is another 20. Plus, Agreco would try to squeeze out another 12 to 14 out of the existing machines we have up in Gigo.
They will
right?
assist us to
Right, so
yeah.
20 plus 20 and plus 12 to 14, so that's 52 to 54. And then relocate 20 megawatts to Tenjo Vista. Where does that-
Repair, replace. Remember, there's 20 that are up there. There's still 20 that we removed and
Okay.
storing.
So of the
So we're
40
gonna
that.
see what we're gonna do with that. But
Yeah.
worst case, even not worst case because it could be the best case. We buy new units and replace that and put it down at Tenjo Vista.
But your current request before us and then the PUC is 20, for this resolution is 20 from leasing a new Agreco,
Right.
20 from fixing and then relocating to Tenjo Vista, 20.
No, there's two resolutions today.
I know,
Yeah.
but when you put them all together.
Yeah, for
to
today's
explain
meeting.
to Mrs., to
Yeah.
my, to my auntie,
Yep.
right? We're gonna get 20, we're gonna lease 20 new from Agreco.
Right.
Then we have these basically 40 megs up north. We need to fix them.
Right.
Protests screwed it up. Agreco now, as part of your new bid, said, Agreco, not only do I want new capacity, I want you to fix, right? And so of the 40 megs that's up north, that is arguably up north, right? 20 megs would be fixed and relocated to Tenjo Vista, right? And you're going to squeeze, and then what's left up there, squeeze out another 12 to 14 out of what's 6 to 8 now to get that to 20.
That's
Right?
a 54.
So, and that's how I get to 54, right?
Yep.
And then Gigo CT repair is ongoing.
Right.
That's gonna get you to 74,
Right.
right? Okay.
Yep.
Did I do that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then the 100-day timeline that's referred to in the summary, that's for the new 20 meg.
Yeah, correct.
So the additional repair of the 40 existing units, is there a timeline on and a megawatt production?
We're gonna work with them and try and see how at the same time as they're mobilizing and doing all these other things to help us start getting some of these units.
Yeah, they gotta
running.
wait for that stuff to ship here anyway, right? So they're
That-
gonna deploy and mobilize people to start working and repairing the units.
That's what we're gonna work out the task orders to do that. And then we're gonna, again, if you approve the other resolution and the PUC approved, then we're ready to go out for the emergency relocation of 20 diesel units, whether repair, replace, install, operate, and maintain for 2 or 3 years.
So there's two resolutions before us.
Yep.
And should we approve the two?
Yep.
As we just re-summarize, and this is really important for Joyce and her team.
Yep.
Should we approve it tonight to
Yep.
explain, but if I understand it right, correct me if I'm wrong, that your plan now before us would increase capacity by 54 by 54 megawatts, and then Gigo CT comes in because it's being
74,
repaired.
yeah.
There's another 20, that's 72 to 74, depending on how much more they can squeeze out of, Agreco can squeeze out of the 40 megs that we got up there, right, of which we got 6 to 8, and 20 is working, right, but it's just not,
That's-
that's what's going to Tenjo Vista, right?
That's good.
Okay, but Greco fixes all of that in this proposal.
Greco will work with us
Not
to
in this
fix.
one, but
Oh, and the
this
two-
one plus the 2024.
Okay, so make sure that's very clearly spelled out for the
Okay.
public.
And again, and plus we're working on the other scenarios. Our goal is to try to get to 100 megawatts of from today of additional capacity to get us through.
Right, because you also mentioned that you're working with Ukudu to see with Kepco.
Yeah.
Can you squeeze some capacity out earlier next year from the battery, from,
Yeah.
you're trying to get a battery as well, right? We approved the 40, you're
Yeah,
working-
but I haven't come to you yet on
Okay.
the battery because that's a multi-million
That's
dollar
big.
project,
Right.
no, and we're
But
trying to get the federal funding or something to help us.
Oh,
on
that's
that.
the FEMA request.
FEMA
Right,
or
right.
anything,
But it-
'cause
but-
that's always
but-
on the top of the.
Right, but Ukudu, Kepco is, may have some capacity available next year and full capacity available the following year, if I understood you from earlier.
Yeah, in 2020.
meetings.
Right now, and again, that would be the ECA that will be coming to yourself. It's an accelerated commissioning of Ukudu
of some
from
capacity.
January 15, 2026 to September 30, 2025.
So moving up some of the capacity by 6, you know how much?
4 months. I'm talking about a $4 million acceleration cost for that.
Much capacity.
If they go to September 15, another million, so that's 5 million. That may seem like but that's what it would take to get it here earlier.
And how
But
much capacity would come from
the other part of that equation is that our customers will be saving about $5 million on fuel costs. So that 5 million will actually
Will help pay.
20 minus 5, customers are gonna gain. So that's what the deal that I will bring to you. So it in itself merit is from the dollar. So, but the way it works, and they have told us that in the schedule that based on the new schedule of September 30, they can see the first unit getting online and being tested around February of 2025. One unit now is 45, so they'll test it out, right? They'll first test the first unit, test the second unit for so long, the third unit for so long. Then they'll test one unit with the steam turbine. And that's 45 plus one half of that is 70, about 70 megawatts for so long. Then the second unit so long. During that whole period of time, they will have capacity coming up and down so that you alleviate or
Starting in February.
starting in February.
And that'll allow you to ratchet down your temporary power, because your fuel consumption for that's going to be crazy.
Actually, this is where I wanted to show here. Under the temporary power, here I'm estimating that we're going to run in about 60% capacity factor. That generates about 105 million kilowatt hours per year. So here's the capacity charts that you're seeing, no? And again, what you're seeing there is the fiscal year, but this is for the 2-year period, right? 6.5 million capacity. The fixed O&M, this takes care of labor and all the other fixed expenses, 2.3, so that's 8.8. ECA, this takes care of the oil, the filters, all of that variable. If you run it, you pay by megawatt hour. If you don't run it, you don't pay it, right? So 9.8 million. So again, this is a Greco. We do have urea here, but again, it's not applied to Greco because we take care of urea. So if you take the estimated heat rate, 13.3 kilowatt hours per gallon for this diesel units, the new ones that they have, and I think this is conservative. I think it could be like 14.3, but let's say 13.3. The annual consumption of fuel is 7.9 million gallons per year. The annual cost at $120 a barrel is $22 million. Our non-base unit, which is what we're running today, because we're running Deridu, which is about 8.5, Temes is 9 kilowatt hours per gallon, are not, they're reserves, they're not the efficient units. On the average, it's about 10.5. So what is costing us today is about 10 million, consumption of 10 million gallons a year. At 120, 28 million. So the annual fuel cost savings from the new machines, the 20 megawatt we're putting in, is 6 million. No? So therefore, really our net cost, even though is about 3.8.
Oh, so the temporary power units actually are
More efficient
efficient?
than the system. The new ones that are coming in, and therefore will reduce
So you
our
have some savings
total.
there.
So although we're paying 25 million, if you will, right, and not 25, actually 20, take away the 3 million there, right, 22. In 2 years, we're saving 8 million. So it really costs us net about $12 million from the fuel. And this is real because that's the average 10.5 year. If we keep running the more efficient one is above 10, and just take off the one in the bottom, you're gonna get more
Fuel
savings.
increase.
Yeah. So this is how we're. But unfortunately, our other constraint is the debt service coverage, and so we can only, and that debt service coverage is all this cost up here in the top. So we have to limit that. Now, that's why you keep hearing me say repair or replace. When we look at the 20 that we're really looking to relocate to Tenzo Vista, they are, my understanding, the same type of units upgraded, more efficient. And will get us this kind of efficiency versus the one we get today, which is around 12. So the self-efficiency will help pay for the machines. And actually can be delivered maybe, within 6-month period or something. I think that's not unreasonable to ask for to do
That
that.
net annual cost, though, the ratepayers get to realize that, but GPA themselves that doesn't, because
You're
the
correct.
savings is in the fuel costs,
yeah,
which you're
this-
passing along, right?
This 6 million is really passed on to the ratepayers. We won't see that in our
Right.
yeah,
It reduces the pressure.
but it reduces the total cost to the
Cost of
ratepayer.
the ratepayer, yeah.
It just means that we although we can try and do more, we can afford it in our not
So there's a
before
LEAC
impacting our
savings
debt
and-
service requirement.
There's a LEAC savings,
Yeah.
and there's no base rate adjustment
Right.
off these two
So
two
the
resolutions.
ratepayers are going to save money
Yeah.
because
And more importantly, capacity is increased, so we minimize.
so this will help
load
us
shedding.
catch up with our under recovery. Yeah. So again, that's the same and the same for the second year, no? So that's how we're ending up trying.
That's what these two resolutions you're asking us to approve tonight is
That's right.
envisioned to do.
That's right.
Is this in our board books, or can you make sure we get
Yeah.
this?
This is in.
This one, what page is that one on? Thank you, Larissa, thank you.
Just to be clear, John, when you go back to the resolution, states there in one of the whereas that urea is gonna get 4.3. They're the disposal people?
No, that's the additive.
Additive
That's
to
the additive for
the
the
diesel.
ultra-low sulfur diesel
You add it to the emission. So
There's a fast.
They need
So-
that for the regen.
Yeah.
So it's,
So that's a cost already that we're figuring into our budget and stuff. And if they were gonna do it, it would be a cost plus 10%. But because we're doing it right now. Although I didn't particularly care for the additional risk, but I think we can handle it. The other one is oil disposal. We can do that. It's not that much.
Sounds like they're getting a $1 million sign.
Huh?
Contract booth.
Yeah.
That's what I call.
Oh, they were 2 million was the, and I said, it's been, yeah. Well, I'm very happy that we can come up with this because it's a big headache. No? For sure,
20.
by March, you're gonna have.
Eco CT.
I better knock on wood when I say for sure, no? You have the Gpwa Ccu of 20 megawatts. This group is going to do it within 100 days. So if we award the contract by next week, if you will, because if we get the CCU approval this week, we're trying to get it to them on Thursday. Although it's not on the agenda, but I think Fred mentioned they're going to try and use administrative authority or. Yeah, because it's already has been approved by them. This is just now the contract.
Now, there's the details.
The
They
details
proved
of
that you
that.
could procure it. We
Yep.
approved that you could procure it.
That's
Now
right.
you've got the award.
So I think
now-
if they can do that, then you're talking about 100 days, but they can do this faster, from my understanding. So, if
So
you're
when do
looking
you
at
think the-
February, March, so you're probably looking about anywhere in April.
For which?
You get the
The 20.
20
The new
megawatt.
20, right? So that's
Yeah.
March, April, right?
Yeah.
So you, Ggo CT hopefully by February, March, right? And then the new Greco 20 is March, April, right?
Right.
And then
then
you're
we're
going to
gonna
relocate
try-
10, the two.
No, we're gonna get the try and get 14 megawatts more. We
When is
say
that?
by right now it's February.
Let's
Let's
go.
say March, April again.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
Now
then,
the relocate the other Ggo, because it requires some site work and all the different time. We're looking at September, no?
September.
Yeah.
Okay. So
But we're
20
also
from
doing.
Ggo,
Can we
February,
put
March, 20 from a Greco, March, April. 12 to 14 more, because a Greco will start to fix some of our 40 megs by March, April. And then the final 20 megs with the relocation of Utenjo is more like September, right?
Yep.
But in the next, knock on wood, everything working out, 120 days is 20 from Ggo, and then new capacity from a Greco of 20 plus squeezing out 12 to 14 more out of what we already, by fixing what we have,
Yep.
right? That's 32 to 34. And then another 20 megawatts by September, right, becomes available. And that, so I add that up to 74 meg altogether, right? Including Ggo coming back online, right? So it's 54 from a Greco and 20 from Ggo,
Right.
in effect. Okay, fine.
Yep.
So
And
make
then-
sure that Tracy and team and Joyce, make sure that you guys do a great job of explaining this to our, because this is the bridge to, correct me if I'm wrong, this is the bridge, the capacity bridge to Ukadu. This plan, which is going to create 74 megawatts of capacity in addition to what is currently on the system, right? That's the bridge to Ukadu to mitigate, eliminate, significantly reduce load shedding until Ukudu's on. And then, as you've already told us, you're trying to get Ukudu to give us some capacity in the testing time in 25. Everything will be done in 26, but we could see some additional capacity as they bring Ukudu, test Ukudu and bring it
So-
online. Some capacity, some power will come out of it as they test it, right?
Yeah. Also in the GM report is page 58. I'm not sure, Luis, what is that in board book? Yeah. It shows that there some of the other things that we're working on. No, is I'm very happy that Orodi has 6 megawatts now, and we're working with them. Hopefully, we can get into an agreement to try and get the rest of Orodi power plant up. The minimum another 6, maybe 12. So okay. And again, these are the things that I'm trying to get on the line by May. No, we have Wasilla units. We're increasing that from 3 today to by May up to 8 megawatts. That's the Menenguan units. No, we have something working on that. Caterpillar units, we have 12 megawatts today. We're trying to increase that to 25. No?
So if we call that miscellaneous capacity, right?
Yep, yep.
How much does that add up to?
Okay, so you're looking at, let me see, even cabinets 1 and 2 are here, but, okay, so let me see, that's 12 plus 5 is 17, 17 plus a Rodi, 17, 27, 29, probably another 30 megawatts. We're
12
trying
plus
to,
5 plus 15 from
yeah,
Aurora.
yeah,
So that's another 30.
30 by around May. No?
What are we doing at Cabras 1 and 2 to increase to 40 meg?
We're really, we're not stressing Cabras 1 and 2 too much, although I know they can push 40 or 45. But every time in the past,
Year, 6
over
months,
the
8
past
months.
several months when we tried
Push it.
to go up, past 35 and Cabras 2, we had a boiler tube leak.
Just from the pressure, increased pressure?
Increased pressure and stuff. So right now it's been running very well at 33 or 34. 30. I'll have to look at it. And it's been run, and again, I'm knock on wood, it's been running like that now for a month and a half. Remember, Cabras 2 was the issue before. The Cabras 1 has been running as much as 43. So again, in this, you're seeing only 40. But if I can get those up to 40, 45 on a regular basis, and if you have reserves, if you have
Gives you a
reserves,
chance. Gives you a chance.
and it gives you a chance to go in and make the repair
Push it up.
without it. But right now, no reserves. As soon as it loses it,
Yeah.
see. So then I can try and let her crawl up and better and see what else we can do to repair it. Something I cannot really detail yet, no. But it's just from. So once we get some of this capacity reserves, we can try and push that up.
So please
to-
organize,
yeah.
if, should we adopt these resolutions, please organize, to me, the way I envision it is how much additional capacity is being put back onto the grid above what is existing today by Greco, by repairs, by GCT coming back online, by squeezing another 12, getting up the miscellaneous capacity, getting that from 15 to 30, there's another 15 meg, right? Make sure that's well explained, plus it helps us keep the plan accountable. You're telling us now in January, February, March, April, May, how are we doing, John? Is it happening, right? And obviously, as we add capacity, we reduce the risk of load shedding, which is everybody's desire, and it bridges us to when Ukudu does come online, which should eliminate load, right? I mean, if it don't, then we all should get out of here. If Ukudu don't solve it, right? But there's plenty of capacity of Ukudu, 180 megs, right? And a battery, right? Which we forget that battery actually is capacity. And it can bridge. And when do you turn it on? At peak.
Yeah.
Right.
Every capacity that you get in a battery shaves the peak.
Well, more importantly, you say shave the peak. I say it provides capacity for the peak.
Well, that's what
Mrs. Cruz is going to cook at 7 o'clock.
That's
She's
that's
shaving
what.
the
No,
She's
no,
cooking.
no. Get me all wrong. We're talking about the same
We're
thing.
same. I'm just saying
Okay,
it
the
different.
way it is that this is the peak. The battery comes and takes a big chunk of the peak, so that the reserve units only have to handle this.
Because
So
the battery's
therefore,
supplying the difference.
because the battery is
Right.
designed.
So from my point of view,
Yeah,
that's
so
capacity.
it's capacity, right? That's
During
what.
peak,
Yeah,
which is when we need it.
yeah. So
won't
it
load shed at
is
noon.
capacity to shave the peak. That's what I'm talking about.
Shave the peak by increasing capacity.
Yeah.
This time it's from a battery versus.
And the more you do that, then the more your reserve requirements are less, no? That means the more that you can start to reduce some of your capacity.
And no base rate increase. And actually, when we get this plan implemented, there's actually fuel savings over a couple of years
Yeah.
that will help us with the LEAC.
That's correct.
Guess we better approve these resolutions.
Why do we jump from September 2024 to September without no net increase in capacity? Megawatt increase?
I think
Ukudu information should be added to somewhere in
oh
2025, right?
yes, we will. I think that was meant to be September 25 Ukudu, and actually there is an increase. So if I'm sorry if I just get my pointer. Just 1 minute, and that's why it's up there to show that when Okudu comes on the line, which is here 198. So this is the existing, but then we have to retire Cabers 1 and 2, 80, which is the, right? And then release temporary power, takes away the 0, so now our total capacity is 495. If you estimate the demand, and if you notice it's rising, right, to take care of the growth, 275 is what we estimate in 2025. You take away, there's 220 megawatts left of reserve. You take away the largest unit, 63, which is 145 plus it's gas that produces steam. The second largest was 63, and then 1/2 of the third largest, which is more, gives you a little better than 1 day and 4.5, the target of the PUC that's set. Okay, that's 140. So what capacity balance after having all your reserve requirements do you have? You have 72 megawatts more that you can bring in additional capacity.
Which is like two campuses.
You mean demand?
Yeah.
But I was referring to the prior slide. The prior slide shows the September 2025, and there's no change in capacity numbers.
Oh, targeted megawatt increase. I guess this is just before. There's still Cabers. So then, maybe this was prior to bringing on board the revised agreement.
Advanced.
So I think the next one, is
So
showing.
maybe just update that.
Yeah, it's showing with the Okudu coming on.
Write down
We'll replace the even at the retirement.
is a good one for you. Because you're going to be on the radio.
And that's why, Mr. Chair, your question was, will we lease it beyond that? Based on this, it's not necessary. No, I agree. Yeah, we won't
Cross that bridge when we,
get together. Okay, we want to get it.
Colleagues, let's go back then to resolution 2024-11. Because that was the first resolution that you asked. Right?
Yes, correct.
Okay, so can we go ahead and get a motion on resolution 2024-11?
They all have batteries. I'm sorry.
Yes.
I'm sorry, Mr. Chairman.
No, we would need a resolution
Yes.
approval for, I'm sorry.
2024-16?
No, 2024-11 first. That was the first discussion about the relocation to Gpwa Diesel. Let's do our number sequence.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Right? Okay, so go ahead and need a solution for that one.
I thought we only skipped 10.
10, was it 10?
Yeah, I thought
No.
we voted on 11.
No, we skip 11.
Oh,
10
skip
is the
11?
concrete. 10 is the
We
concrete
approved
poles.
10, right?
We brought this up in the work
10 is the
session.
concrete pole.
Yeah.
So Ggo diesels.
Oh, well, we haven't talked about this one though yet, right? We talked about 16, so are we doing 16 first? Are we voting on 16?
No, I want to follow the sequence if you don't mind.
Oh, yeah.
Let's do 11.
And then we'll go to
And then what we're
16.
doing is we can do that.
Okay, so
Plus you're younger
we
than us.
need a motion so we can enter the discussion?
Yes, sir.
So,
If you want, I mean,
yeah,
we've
motion.
discussed this to death. For the purposes, so.
yeah, motion to approve FY 2024-11 relative to approval for relocation of Ggo diesels.
Second.
Right? So I will call for the vote on resolution 2024-11. All in favor, say aye.
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 That one is done, so now let's go down to
16.
16.
16.
For the approval of temporary power. As presented by.
And this is the
John,
this is the Agreco package, basically.
Correct.
Yep, yep.
Move to approve GPA Resolution 2416 relative to the approval for temporary power.
Second.
Okay, I will call for the vote now on resolution 24-16. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Sir, anything else?
Unless you want me to do,
No, sir, we
no.
have
The only thing I want to go over is just the update on Ukudu. Because we were talking
Oh.
about, the advanced commissioning, and so has there been any new development since the working session on it?
Actually, the Okudu percentage we got from they're 80% complete. No?
Oh.
And so they're already into the second tier of the tanks. No?
Mhm.
So
When you say 80% complete of the entire project?
entire project, they have a way of
Dang.
some are almost done already, and some are.
Unfortunately, a week or two later,
Yeah.
we'd be talking we wouldn't be needing, we're waiting for the tanks to get rebuilt,
So-
basically, right?
Yeah, so the tanks of materials are here and they're being built. I think just the treatment for the water, it should be coming, but they anticipate, again, and also the construction of the pipeline from the airport road to,
They're announcing that already.
they're announcing
radio.
already, right? They're doing that. So that has to be completed this year so that we can fuel
Fuel it.
the tanks before February, no? They need it.
Oh, so they can start testing.
So they can start testing the units. So they have already informed us that based on the September 30 deadline, they're looking at beginning to start firing units in February.
In fact,
Yeah,
Okay.
so that's already from them directly to us.
that's with the advance commissioning
Yeah.
negotiations or
Yeah.
without it?
With
With it. So that's already you've already finalized,
yes, subject to the CCU and PUC approval.
which will get a resolution on.
We're waiting for them with the amendment. Right, correct? With the energy conversion amendment, that I will bring to you. And so that's where it's subject to your approval and the PUC, and then that. But they're already, from as in the past, they're already starting to work on the rest that deadline.
And then you just have opened up renewable bids, right? With storage, right?
That's
So-
right.
So that's capacity that wasn't discussed in the last hour, right? But that, you're ready to add that capacity?
We're all the
Oh, I see.
proponents
Still
that
3
have
years out.
submitted
Yeah.
are going through the system impact study to make sure that what they had submitted and the infrastructure to support that is all in place. Because everything that is needed based on this independent group working with us, working, with they have to do it under the same price. No?
But as Jen
Once
has said,
that's all,
okay. But as Jen said, that's 2027. You were just showing us to 2025. So after Ukudu's on, there's a bunch of renewable with batteries, shiftable, coming on behind Ukudu, right? So that's really, again, the total
Yeah,
capacity of the
and,
system by 2027 is
right now,
much
you're
stronger.
talking about over 200 megawatts of capacity. Right now, if that's approved, we're looking about getting close to, if not 50% renewables by 2027.
Right. And if I remember right, 180 megs is like a 45 meg generator in effect, right?
And
Right?
and that whatever is 200 megawatts, about 100 megawatts of that is batteries that can
That's
shift.
dispatch.
Right.
That's
Dispatchable,
dispatch.
Right. That's
So
another, that's
again,
another 50
as
meg
you look
generator.
now, that 72, bring in more capacity, the renewables come in, shave more peak, you can add. So this is where, so again, the renewables, this would add capacity to meet
Demand.
growth.
Growth and demand.
Secondly, it now becomes a hedge against fuel prices because now we would have reduced our consumption from 2.7 million barrels a year to about 1.3, 1.4 million.
Million.
So therefore, when oil prices go to, like diesel, go to 180,
Don't feel
you're not going to be going to the 29, 31 cents that you are today. You may go to 17 cents or 18,
That's
but-
still lower than what we're doing now.
but certainly not to the 29 that we had experienced over the past. So that's why it's a hedge on the thing.
The plan to mitigate any impacts on other storms for the diesel, what are they going to do to prevent that? Or do they already have mitigation?
They have to move as fast as possible before the next storm because there's not much they can do until they get that top off, no?
And fill it with water?
Fill it with some water to keep it. But at least, yeah,
Bracing inside?
yeah. But
Because they don't get paid if they don't generate a kilowatt hour, so.
I hope everything that they do makes it happen. But
It's on them now.
understanding that 150-mile-per-hour winds can buckle.
Yeah, Mother Nature,
Yeah,
nature's Mother Nature.
yep. So that's why
Another word that begins
they
with
have to
mother.
move on getting those tanks completed, even at the top. Because remember, it's up to the top shelf already, but there's no top yet.
Yeah, that's what collapsed.
That's why you collapse.
So how many more layers, or how many more tiers will this need before they put the top on?
I think it's a total, if I recall last time, about 6 tiers.
They're in tier 2?
6? Yeah. So that's already about 2 tiers there.
Sunrise is in 11 hours. Anything else?
No, that's all, Commissioners, unless you have any, and again, my apologies, Mr. Chairman. We will, point taken, we will do what we can.
Yeah. And again, his suggestion was we could have delayed the meeting to your ready. Because it's important to the public to see this. Yeah. We're a flexible group.
The PC? Oh,
Yeah, good luck.
yeah, day after tomorrow. So,
Motion to adjourn?
Good job. Okay, make it happen. Good Lord, stay with us. Help our team.